All right, I hope everyone's not too full of food, but what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through a couple slides, and then we're going to trip an alarm, and we're going to work the alarm in iView now, and we'll show you what this functionality looks like in bold. Please feel free to stop and ask me questions. Is there a mic, or just yell? There's not that many of us. If anyone's got questions, it's meant to be an interactive discussion. So, again, as I stated in the previous meeting, we're a cloud-based video interface. That's the way to look at us. So we are compatible with DVRs, NVRs, VideoFide. We've taken VideoFide and put VideoFide in our cloud. We're compatible with individual IP cameras. We can go to the edge. Often, many of the IP cameras have enough memory in their ring buffer for us to go to that ring buffer and extract that pre-post alarm off of it. With access cameras, we're compatible with all access cameras. We're very happy with that integration. So as I stated earlier as well, we are monitoring the status of those devices, meaning if they're online or they're offline. So our normal protocol is that the device goes offline for an hour, you receive a trouble signal into bold. Your operator would receive it like a low battery trouble, and then in the action plan be able to call that the responsible party list to make sure somebody knows the device is offline. We've got dealers selling just that standalone, right? Instead of installing surveillance and driving away, being able to at least monitor the status of the surveillance. Perhaps they haven't bought into the entire video verification or guard tours. So like I said, we can turn the change of status of things into alarms, and you can receive them in bold. And we talked about this, the ability to arm and disarm VideoFide. Again, I'm going to touch this again just because I want to make sure we're all on the same sheet here. We talk to central stations weekly a lot, and what they're doing is video investigation. They're either using like the client software from a device where they've got to sort of manage the end users at each workstation to make sure they've got connectivity in that device. That's video investigation, that gap, that difference between receiving the alarm and then going and taking a look. So our whole goal here is to do away with that. What we want is the ability to look in, of course. For that session that the operator's having to be accountable, the whole session is recorded and kept in our cloud. And to go be able in an event, to go get that event-based video, to be able to go before the event, extract the pre-post, and present it to the operator. Subtle point, hasn't been brought up yet, but also with entry delay. Right, so if the bad guys are going indoors, 70% of break-ins go through the doors. What we're saying is you need to be able to get pre-post off of when the entry delay began. We have the ability to do that. The only time that gets interesting is with an IP camera. It may need an SD card to be able to go far enough back, right? The ring buffer may not have been big enough. So no worries. We go to the box, we go to the camera, we go to the cloud, we get the video, associate it with the alarm event, and present it to your operator. All right, so this is what it looks like in bold when the account is built and the association is made between our interface and the bold interface. When the operator receives the alarm, a notification pops up letting the operator know that there's multimedia available with the account. So let's give this a shot. I'm going to go ahead and play this video. And so what's going to happen is the operator is going to take the alarm. Just normal bold, right? Sorry, it's running a little slow. But the operator is notified that there's multimedia available. And then we open on the second monitor for the operator. So the first thing the operator is presented with is a live view of the zone that tripped, and then the event-based clip plays in the upper right. Clips always play in the right, live view always available on the left. What's going to happen in this video is the operator is going to switch to a quad by pushing that camera icon that's in the upper left of the single view. Oh, I guess they don't. We're gonna pull one up here and trip an alarm. So I'm going to go ahead and let the folks over at iView now know to send an alarm. All right. So what I've done is, this is our interface. I've opened it up, and what I'm going to do is receive the alarm directly in our interface. So I've let the folks at iView Now know to send it, so should be an alarm showing up here. All right, so what's happening in bold, as events occur in us, they flow back into bold, they live in event history. So why don't we go back to this, we wait for the alarm to come in. Okay, so the alarm just came in, and as you saw in bold, what would happen is the operator would be presented with that icon that says there's multimedia available. When the operator pushes that button, we would open up automatically. I'm just going straight into our interface to receive this alarm. So this is the view the operator would have. So they just tripped that alarm, I took the alarm. Again, the clip is playing on the upper right-hand side with the pre-alarm in it. It's coming out of a little $239 Honeywell DVR. On the upper left is this live view. I've got the ability as the operator to go to a quad, sorry, my internet connection is acting funny. I took a hard wire to make it not do that. I'm sorry, guys. I guess that's what happens in the demo. So you can see the clip is playing in the upper right. There's my live view. All right, so I've got a quad. I've got a live view available. I can switch individual cameras here if I choose to. I can switch them four at a time if I choose to. I can quad forward, I can quad backwards. You can see the clip over here that came in. If there were subsequent zones, additional zones that tripped, those clips would stack up here and they would automatically play for the operator. But this interface is what pops up on the second monitor, so it's very simple for the operator to interact with. When the operator is finished, they simply close the alarm. But we can go back to this alarm and look at the event history. And we can see that all the actions, you can see me click, I'm Clickenstein here, you can see me clicking on the interface. And what we're saying is that all my actions, as I was trying to get it to play, flow, not only are they captured here in our interface, but they flow back into bold and they live in the event history at the alarm level. So what we've got here available is the clip that was played. That clip can be downloaded. It's credential based, so my credentials allow me to come in here, look at the history. I can download this clip if I want to. But I can also play the entire session that the operator had with the site. So you can see that that's where Matt had tripped the alarm. I'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit. You can see that that's where we actually took connection with the site. It's superimposed on the video. And you can see where we switched to a quad. So the idea being here that we're simply connecting to the site, recording the live view, extracting the pre-post clip. The operator's got access to it, but you've also got access to it in your history anytime you want to go back and look at it. And I can obviously download that whole session. So one interesting thing here too is that this is so this is the end user's interface where the end user can log on anytime they choose to, and they can view live view, they can view the event-based video. It's always branded to the dealer, and this is the same clip over here that we played as operators. There's the pre-alarm. And we've also got the ability, or the end user has the ability to add folks into notifications. So why don't we do this whole thing again? Is there anybody out there that's got an iPhone or a Droid that would like to receive an alarm? Sure, what's your name, sir? Bob. All right, Bob. What's your cell number? 203. I'm sorry, 203? 943? 00? 81? And what's your carrier? All right, so you've been added. Anybody else want to receive an alarm if I trip this thing again? What's your phone number, Alan? 956 778 3040. Carrier? All right, so you've been added. So the end user's got the ability here to change cameras. They can view them, they can advance them four at a time. They can advance them individually just like the operator can. Those clips are stored here by date time group that are available to them. They can change the name of cameras if they choose to. One interesting thing is, so if I change the name of this camera and I update it, and I go back to the tree over here in the view, you can see that the name has been changed on that sales office. And what's happening is it's just a remote application, but everyone connecting to it sees the change. So if there's a firmware change out there, Hikvision's kind of notorious for it, we write a change to it, and then everyone connected to us automatically sees the change. You don't have to go load individual updates at workstations. All right, the other thing that from the earlier discussion you may have noted that we need 4 data points to build an account in iView now. We want you to name the account, we want a zip code, a branch, and you name it. So with that information is really, the branch is important because the end user, let's say the camera's not working right, they can hit this contact button and it gives them the branch or your company so that they get service from the company that sold it to them. So as this comes out of a portal, it's all pointed at the end user's dealer experience. All right, so I'm going to get them to trip this again. Hey, can you trip it again for me? Thanks. All right, so Matt's going to trip it, and he's going to walk across our office and go to a Vista 20 and put the code in, let the time expire, and then he'll open the door, and the alarm will show up as an icon over here. So, are there any questions as we wait for the alarm to come in? Yes, sir.
I get the log shows up in Manitou.
Yep.
After the fact, customer 6 months later says, I had an event back in there and we lost something, didn't realize it. What did you guys do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Can I look at that video back then? Is that in Manitou or do I have to?
It's in our cloud, and the way our logic for this was that we didn't want to put the video into the transactional database. Has been sort of the logic that we've used with this. So we've got a patent in this area, and what the patent revolves around is extracting the video from the site, putting the video, there's the alarm, the video. So I just got a text message too, so if you guys are out there, you probably should have gotten a text message. So I received a text message. Those of you that got one, just touch on the link that's in it. You'll be able to open up the live view of the site. Same logic as before. This event happened at the same site within the 10-minute time frame, so it's considered in the same alarm, and they stack up and stay. Right? So this is being included in this history. So I'm going to go to a quad. And obviously I've got access now to the full site to look through any cameras that are there, with this idea being that there might be analog cameras there. We happen to be looking through analog cameras, but we could also, I know that there's a video IQ unit there. So now what we're looking through, it's the same view as the bottom, only the bottom is coming out of the analog device, and what's coming out of the top is it's coming through a video IQ unit. So my point is, what I think as a dealer is, I need to put whatever technology at the site that makes sense, and it doesn't always have to be homogeneous, right? And the operator doesn't, I don't think they care. They just want to be able to have actionable video from the site. So again, once the alarm is connected to the site, the operator's got access to all the video that's there for them to be able to look at. And these clips, you could see that it was within the same alarm event time frame, and so the other clips stacked up in here. They're both available for the operator to replay and play again. So to your earlier question, what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and close this out. So the alarm's closed. I can go back to events. And there's the event that we just took. So to your question, so within Manitou, there's a link. So when you click on the link and it's live, the operator goes right to it, no credentials are required, it's actionable to them. But once they close it, the operator doesn't have the ability just to go click on that link and go look at the site again. When you click on the link, you'll be asked for credentials, with the idea being that you might not want me as an operator to go look, you might want me to, but you might not want me to be able to go look at that history of the site. So what will happen is when you click on the link after it's gone to sleep, it takes you to our portal, you'd get right to the spot, and you'd be able to look at everything the operator did, as well as view the event clip from the site. You can download that clip from the event, or you can view the whole session that the operator had with the site. We essentially begin recording the moment the alarm goes off, even before the operator gets to it, if it's an IP camera or a DVR or an NVR. And as I tried to show you before, as the operator is interacting with it, we superimpose the operator actions onto the video file itself. Try and zoom forward here. And you can see there's where we switched as an operator to the quad. It's superimposed on, but this whole session the operator's having is stored in us, and it's stored for a minimum of 12 months. Although UL hasn't created a standard here yet, it is interesting to watch that unfold. It looks a lot like their perspective on this is that not that the video needs to be in your central, but that the level of security that it has needs to be to a certain level, meaning data at rest or data in transit is going to be their focus. So from our perspective, we keep it for a minimum of a year. We've got guys that have been on for 2 years now. It rolls over, we keep it. The ability to store a file of this size is really not a big deal anymore, right? But it's available to you 24/7, yes, sir.
I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here, but I noticed on the app or what I get on the phone,
Yep,
there's a dispatch button.
that's right.
And when you press that, it sends you a phone number. Is that the central station's phone number?
That's right.
That goes to shipment?
That's right. So what he's saying is, hold on a second. So what he's saying is, a couple of you guys had volunteered. You received a text message. In the text message, let me just jump to that slide. Let's talk about it. All right, so you've seen, what you saw on the screen was what's in the upper left, right, which is the ability for the end user. It's the same URL. So I, as the end user, if I lose my password, can't find it, what most of our companies are doing is putting a landing page, an icon on their landing page of their home page for the customer to go click on it, takes them to the portal, it's branded to the company, they put their credentials in, they log on, they've got access. So the ability here for the end user to, as I added these two gentlemen in, the end user in that interface can add and remove people. It's just a browser. So additionally, once you were added, what happened for you is that you had the ability to receive that text message in your phone. When you click on the link in the text message, you are presented with a live view of the site. So we're pulling video up to our cloud, and then we serve it off to many. That's where our patent lies. So the idea being that the stream the operator is in is not the same stream that the end user's in. So when the operator's changing cameras, it's not changing it for the end user and vice versa. Right? So the end user can live view the site, all cameras available on the site. They can click on that red link that's underneath the quad there and play the same clip that the operator played. So now the operator and the end user are on the same sheet of music. And additionally, what you were describing is this dispatch button that's in the upper left of the diagram there. Right there. So when the end user clicks on it, it opens the native dialer on the phone, giving the end user the ability to call the central station. So I've got people doing this all kinds of ways. They've either set up that this is a dedicated line at a branch, that when it flows into the trunk at the central station, it gets distributed in a particular way. We've got people with it embedded into the central station software. It's going to particular operators, and the operator knows that at the end of that is a client that had an alarm event with video associated. So depending on your level, all the way down to we've got a central station that has a phone number that rings like a bat phone, and they know that that's an end user out there with an incident. So what we're finding, when you first say it to central station people, they get a little confused or concerned. What we find with end users is they love this. Man, my alarm went off and it's my brother-in-law, and I call you and I can cancel this alarm. Overwhelmingly, that's what happens. We train our dealers to make sure the client understands if there's someone there and you don't know, call 911, right? The operator's working it, you're working it, it's a good thing. But it's an ancillary signal, it's a text. You know, I've done demos where you send the text and it comes 5 minutes later, right? That's not a life safety signal. We want it to go to the central station via IP. We want what comes out to the end user. They either take it or they don't. An operator's working it. But from a false alarm reduction standpoint, we're finding unbelievable traction with this. Any questions on this part? Did that answer the question, or did that answer your question, sir? Yes. Okay. All right.